Thank fuck I got it to work. Oh god, now I'm confused. I don't know which one it is. Uh, Let me check. That way I can post the link. Okay, not that one. Perfect. Okay. Uh, got it. So I have a previous live stream. Same title and everything. And that, for some fucking reason, wouldn't load. I'd start the Hangout, and the Hangout did not show a start broadcast button. Apparently, that's glitched. So, an entirely new stream had to be fucking made. Took me a half hour to fucking problem solve it, or troubleshoot it, or figure it out for the lame man. God, I'm not in a good mood. I'm not. 'Tis not a good night or eve for me. So post link there. Scroll down, post link here. Fuck. Okay. So yeah. Let me go to the actual fucking page. Hey, God Almighty. Okay. Uh, Christ Almighty. So much shit stirring. So much shit stirring. There we go. Whew. That's heat's getting to me. I think. I don't know. I know it's getting to my computer. Poor bastard doesn't have that long to live. Mm-mm. No, sir. Okay, let me enlarge this. Ah, my back. Why, oh, why is my CPU usage so high? Fuck if I know. Fuck if I care. Also, I'm drinking. Also, Sten, because I saw your comment in the chat earlier, it is not a dryer sheet ad. It is actually a Pepsi slogan. Imagine that. Take me away, sweet Baileys. But yeah, the full slogan, if I remember correctly, is always hits the spot, more bounce to the ounce, sip ahoy. And then I think it's wins our straw vote was on like the bottom of the billboard. It's like a little it's like a little fucking stamped sheet metal, like one of those metal fucking billboard slogan ad signs things that you see at like gas stations and stuff. It was like an old one I saw, and it said that. I was like, that is a very bizarre slogan for a Pepsi ad, and it was, and this is going way the 50s because it didn't say Pepsi, it said Pepsi Cola, and it had the old swirly P and C, and the C is looks like a fucking G because they curl up the bottom of the C, so it goes underneath the Pepsi, or the Epsi in Pepsi. Very weird indeed. But yeah, it's bad. Shit just keeps getting worse. Like there is no fucking like Treebeard has broken the dam and has released the river. It's like holy fuck. Come on. Okay. Also, Facebook Messenger's deciding to fuck up because a special guest, folks, wants to join the chat. He's been asking and asking. So finally sent him a link after like, hand waving the show because God forbid I don't want him to witness the cringe and the fuck failure that is this show. So just been pushing it on the fucking back burner. Uh oh, why yes. Yes, I do. I have something to show for the art group. Give me a second. Uh, do, 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 do. There we go. All set. But yeah, uh, shit's just fucking up worse. Uh, so on top of the shit that I've been venting about the last, a new challenger has entered the ring, and it's a heavyweight champion of a fucking obstacle and problem. Like, and when I mean a heavyweight champion, this is a fucking 8 foot, 600 pound fuck, like, I don't even know. He's like the mountain from Game of Thrones. Like 9 feet tall, 400 pounds, solid fucking muscle. Could probably bench. No, could probably deadlift like his weight, twice his weight. Could rip a fucking log in half. Barehanded, just like Captain America that shit, just rip it in half. That's the kind of heavyweight I am up against right now when it comes to life obstacles. And I'm certain there's gonna be people. I'm certain there's gonna be people sitting there going, "Ah, Darth, you're not dealing with you're not you're being hyperbolic." Like, no. No, I am not, good sir. What could be so my dog might be dying. Yeah, my dog of 8 years might be dying, and he might die tonight. He could die at any moment. It's just a matter of time, and it's just a matter of what happens when we're able to bring him to the vet tomorrow because it's a Sunday. Like, that's the news I got. That's the news I woke up to. Sleeping in on my Sunday, my day off, and getting a call at 11:30 in the afternoon that my father witnessed my dog collapse and gasping for breath. And my father tried everything he could. And it's just by sheer luck that, you know, that he was alive when I got to see him. And he's still gasping, short breaths all the time. And when I saw him, I broke down right in front of my dog. And I mean, ugly cried. Snot running out of my nose like a fucking faucet, falling right onto the floor, tears just streaming out of my fucking eyes, holding him. And he's just licking me. And that's just making me cry even worse. This poor little dog, this pug, this poor innocent animal is having breathing issues, and I can't do anything about it. I've raised him since he was a 6-week-old pup. The majority of his life has been by my side. And it happens on a day where there are no vets anywhere close to where I can get to. All closed. The money for the apartment, that's forfeit if my dog's life is on the line and they tell me we can fix it, it's just going to cost a grand. I will suck dick to make that money. If they tell me he'll live another 4 or 5 years, even a year, if he can live, if they tell me he's got a week, then I'm gonna have to say, yeah, pull the plug because I'm not gonna want to watch my dog suffer for a week gasping for air. That's selfish and greedy and awful. And he's lived one hell of an awful life when I'm not there. And I told him, my dog, please, please be alive. Please be alive tomorrow. I'll be here in the morning and I'll be here to help you. And if it's his time to go, I'm gonna like I've promised him every time I see him. Every time I see my dog, I tell him I will always be there for you. And I made a promise years ago and to my father, to my dog, to the whole family while we were living in town. When it's his time to go, if he has to be put down, I'm going to be there every step of the way to let him know in his final moments that I did not walk away and I'm going to be by his side. And yet, here's my dog gasping for breath, consoling me, licking my face. And I know when he's trying to cheer me up. I've had him for 8 years and he's licking my face constantly. He's licking my nose. He's licking my eyes because he knows I'm crying. He knows that I'm just completely broken up. And I've seen him do a lot of fucking things like that. A lot of self-sacrificing things. I have I have heard of dogs being self-sacrificing, but I've never seen or heard of examples like what I've witnessed. When shit had hit the fucking floor and my father and brother were living in a crack den with with the two dogs, my dog and my father's dog Elvie. Her name's Elvira, but we just call her Elvie. They didn't have money for food, let alone dog food. And so I'd have to, and I wasn't working at the time, so I had to scrounge every bottle and can I possibly could to buy dog food. And I had to beg my dog Rocky to eat because I'd fill up two small bowls of dog food for both of them, and Elvie would just devour hers because she hasn't eaten in a day and a half, 2 days, 3 days, however long it'd been. And as soon as she's looking around, she sees the rest of the dog food. Rocky would just walk away. Not because she pushed him out of the way. She'd see the heat because they're both well behaved. They don't like fight over food. And Elvie just looked up at him and he just looked at her and he just stepped aside and let her eat. My own dog was willing to die for another. Didn't even fight it. I filled up her bowl, like her empty bowl. And it's like, he's he doesn't deserve what's happening to him at all. He's been neglected while I wasn't there. Because my father was an addict at the time, he was more worried about getting high sometimes. Like my dogs, and I call them my dogs because I've had to take care of both of them. Like they didn't eat for the longest time here and there, and yet there's some stories that I still don't know the full extent of. Like my brother told me that there was one guy living in that crack den who just hated Rocky but loved Elvie, and so he would put cigarettes out on my dog. Like my aunt thinks that Rocky had a stroke because his right leg, his both right legs, mind you, but his right leg in the front's the most prominent. It droops, and he slants on that side, and his whole right side of his face is a little droopy. And she's like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past him that he had a stroke while there because of the stress. And it's like, he doesn't deserve that. No animal deserves to be treated like that. And so I was talking to my aunt earlier, and she's like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Well, if he has to go, then it's time for him to go, and I'll bring him back, and I will cremate him, and I will keep his ashes, and then I will find a spot in town, probably Bond, because that's the happiest memories and years that he lived." And the fucked up thing is LV is his mate, and I don't know how she'll handle it if he passes. So on top of one dog dying, I'm gonna have another one that's gonna be dead inside, and she's a year younger than him, and I don't know how she'll act. I don't know if she'll just be hit with hardcore depression and she'll just refuse to eat, or she'll just give up. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. And I'm tearing up just thinking about it, but it's like I've cried as much as I can. And so that's what I've got to deal with. I've got to deal with that, and then I've got to deal with it tomorrow. So, and plus, I don't have work tomorrow because Donald's out on the road. Fuck. Like, holy fuck. Like, I understand. Like, I know there's a meme I've posted here and there where somebody goes into a dog store or a dog, yeah, a pet shop. They go to a pet shop and they're like, "What are you looking for?" "Oh, I'm looking for a pet to love for 11 years and then be devastated," or something along that lines. Like, yes, I'd like to purchase something that will fucking destroy me in 11 years. But you don't think about that. Like, I didn't go and buy Rocky. I was given him. Like, he wasn't my dog at first. I was told to take care of him at the house and babysit him. And then it just so happened that they didn't want to keep him. And so he became my dog. And I spent the most time with him. I'm the one who taught him how to sit and lay down, stand up, howl. I taught him how that we sit at the kitchen table because we had a little booth where it was like a little booth in the corner with chairs on the other sides of the table, and he would sit on that because he could actually get up on it. And so while he's standing there at the table, like on the seat with his front paws on the table, I'm like, "What do we do at the kitchen table?" And he just sit. He knew he kn he knew that when you had to go to the when you were having dinner, you sat at the kitchen table. You didn't stand. You didn't stand, you didn't put your paws on the table, none of that. He had his own routine. We knew his routine. We knew what time he'd wake up. We knew when he'd have to go out. He'd tell us when he'd have to go out. Like he wouldn't even have to like scratch at the door or bark or spin around in circles or do whatever other dogs do. What he would do is he'd just grab his collar with his leash attached to it. He'd just grab it and he'd drag it over. And we're like, "Oh, you have to go out. Okay." And then we get up and take him out. But in the morning, I just open up the door to the house in town, and he'd just hop out, and he'd go around the yard, around the property. I didn't have to worry about him running off, and he'd go to his spots in the morning, and he'd do his morning ritual to the door. And if I wasn't there at the exact moment he was done, he'd start barking, and it's like, all right, make it a cup of coffee. I come over, open up the door, and he'd sit right next to me. And then when we lost the house in town, he got stuck in a crack den as often as I could. I remember one time, and this shows you how fiercely loyal I am when it comes to my dogs. Like, sorry, somebody commented on something. But so he was living at the crack den, and I might have said this story before on stream. I'm not sure, but I had just gotten off of work. I was working at the warehouse down the street, and I came over because I had money in my pocket, so I bought dog food. And I bought a few groceries for my father and brother to eat. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just relaxing on the couch. And what Rocky would do and what Elvie does too with me is they both howl and I'll howl with them. And what they also do is if I cut my hair or I shave my beard off, they don't recognize me at first. And so it had been like a month and a half since they had seen me. And I had gotten my hair cut and I had shaved my beard off because I had to be clean shaven. And so I walk in and they start barking. And as soon as I say rock and Elfie, they immediately shut up and then they're embarrassed. And they started howling because they knew that it was me. They're supposed to howl when they see me. And so I sat down on the couch and I put the bag of dog food on the coffee table in front of me. I poured some into their bowls and I put it next onto the floor for them. And so Elvie was eating. And I told my father, like, "Hey, I got groceries," and he grabbed those and he was putting them away. And so my brother was out at the time, and my cousin was still there, and he has a crack whore girlfriend named Linda, and I just fucking despise her. I despise her to the fucking core because I sat down to relax after walking halfway across the city with groceries, and I'm just laying there, and Rocky's cuddled up to me on my lap, and he's just laying there, tails straight, because pugs' tails. Most people don't know pugs' tails are curled, but they can straighten them out, and that's usually at least to me. I think that's a sign of trust. They trust you so much that they won't keep that tail perked all the way up. They can relax. And he's just laying there. And she saw him, and she did not know me because she started screaming at him and said, "Get the fuck off that couch now." And she grabbed him by the scruff of the fucking neck. And as soon as she did that, I just grabbed her by the wrist while my dog is in and yelping in pain because she has not let go. And as soon as I grabbed that fucking wrist of hers and she saw that I was awake, she let go, and I looked at her dead in the eyes and I said, "You ever fucking touch my dog again, I'll fucking kill you. Don't you ever touch that dog again." And she walked right over to my cousin and told him to throw me out. And I had already threatened to beat the shit out of my cousin because he got my brother arrested because he had gotten high and he had smoked all the crack that he had with his two other crack buddies while my brother and me were preparing everything for Thanksgiving the next day. I was going to have Thanksgiving at a crack den because it's my family. My father and brother lived there, and their stove still worked at the time. And because Ryan, my cousin Ryan, and his two junkie friends had smoked all the crack, they thought that somebody must have stolen it. That's how blitzed they were. And so he accused my brother and threw him out, and my father didn't say a fucking thing. And so when I got back in the house, as soon as my brother got thrown into the back of a cruiser, I told my cousin, "You say another word to me, I'll hop right over this fucking couch, grab you by what little hair is left on the top of your scalp, and I will beat you senseless outside for all to see." And so when she told him, "You got to throw him out," he turned to her, looked at me, turned back to her, and said, "Yeah, you can try. I'm not fucking with him." And then proceeded to ask her just what the fuck she did, not what I did, what she did to provoke me. And as soon as he heard her say, "Well, I grabbed the dog, that mutt, by the scruff of say no more. Don't go near his dog. Whatever he told you, you follow it." And that right there, just leaving I didn't want to leave the house without my dogs after that, because that means that without me there, my dogs are being treated like that on a daily basis. And the fucked up thing is the city has a vast negativity towards animals. I have yet to find apartments for sale that don't say that the dog like they'll allow pets, but it has to be a cat or it has to be medically relevant for owning that dog. And I just regret not fucking just not doing a fucking thing about it. He does not deserve the life he had. That's why I've treated him like fucking gold because he's an animal. He doesn't deserve to deal with problems like that. Like you got to think like they have the mind of a toddler or an infant. I think it's like the smartest dogs can remember like 250 words and like their brain is the equivalent of like a 2-year old. And it's like he doesn't know what's going on half the time. Like, he doesn't know what a junkie is. He doesn't know why he's being beaten. He doesn't know why he's getting cigarettes put out on him. So this poor dog's sitting there wondering, like, what am I doing? What's wrong? So every time I see him, I always bring treats, and I'm always sitting right there, scratching him, petting him, because I want him to be comfortable. Christ, I bought him because he's getting up there. He's 8 years old. I bought him a heated bed, like a really nice, comfy one, a really good bed, because his favorite bed got ruined because a bunch of junkies decided to throw it against the wall. It was my wicker fucking hamper basket for my dirty clothes back home. And ever since I had that wicker basket, even if there was dirty clothes in it, he'd just climb on in and just lay inside and sleep. So I was like, well, looks like I'm not gonna have that anymore. So I bought a blanket for him, a nice comfy blanket, and I used one of the old ones we had as like a cushion, and I put it inside, and then I put his blanket on top, and I put it right next to my bed, and he slept there every day for 3 4 years, and I was made sure to tell my father when he was moving out, make sure you bring that wicker basket. That's Rocky's bed, and he did, and it got ruined like most shit. So I was like, Rocky's gonna stop sleeping on the floor, and I gotta buy him a bed. I haven't had the time the last few years because of all the work. So I finally fucking got my head on, just screwed my head on correctly, and I bought him a nice bed for his birthday this April. That way he can sleep comfortably at least. And he sleeps in that fucking bed all the fucking time. Fuck. Sucks. Fucking hate this. Like, I don't even know how to word it. I don't. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with it. I go to that shop every day for work, an hour early just so I can go see him. Take both of them for a walk. Go down a country road. And if it's his time to go, oh, I'm not going to be able to go inside that shop and see her. I'm not going to be able to deal with it. And that's wrong. I should be able to. I should be able to go in there and see Elvie at least, but I'm not going to be able to because I'm going to. It's like with my grandfather. I'm not going to be able to go like every day after my grandfather died. It was a fucking stab in the chest going into my house because I'm expecting to see him. I'm going to go into that loft and I'm going to expect seeing Rocky hopping off the couch or running over with Elvie, and he's not going to be there. The fucked up thing is I don't know what I'm gonna do with his clothes, like the jackets I bought him. They're for LV, and I'm gonna see that, and it's gonna remind me. And it's like I want my dog back. And I know I'm gonna have good times and good memories to remember him by. But that's not how my brain works. My brain focuses on the negative stuff. Always has, always will. And if I'm going to always, I will never forgive myself for not getting him out of that situation quicker. So that at least his last few years were good. I just won't. Fuck. Great. Now you guys can hear me sniffling. And I'm not even fully fucking drunk. That's the problem, though, Sten. I know it's good to let it out, but like that emotional dam, it's it finally that emotional dam and all these pent up feelings because of Rocky in the news that I heard today. Like it's the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's like life just wanted to fuck me even harder because I've been as stoic as I could possibly be. Not on the stream, mind you. The stream is like these shows, like they're not how I am 95% of the time. Like I am a lot more reserved in person. There we go. Like granted, when it comes to bullshit with work or if it comes to bullshit with well, especially with women, like the last few shows, I haven't said anything like that yet. I haven't vented or just bluntly, just brazenly put it out there like that. I've been more calm and subtle with it. Like I'm not gonna go out and fucking just start like fucking going at him. Like, I'll vent to the show. Like, it's venting. I'm venting my frustrations out in a public forum where I can be as loud as I want and say what I need to say and what's going through my head without having to put a filter on or any of that. It's like writing down your thoughts on a paper in a notebook. Like if something's pissing you off or you're worried about something or negative, like you're always like at least what my therapist told me a couple of years back, write it down on a piece of paper and just leave it in the notebook. Just put down whatever's fucking up your head and bothering you, just write it down and just close the notebook when you're done. Done. You've gotten it out. Like that's what this stream is usually. Hence why it's called the ramblings of an insane man. Because holy fuck, that it like it's a roller coaster ride with me. But this I can't hide. Like fuck. It's why I fucking ugly cry whenever I see a dog die on screen. You don't know how many nightmares I've had, Stan, and the people and to the folks watching this. You don't know how many because I have a history of horrible nightmares. You don't know how many nightmares I've had where it's just me and Rocky in the woods and Rocky gets hurt because I've said multiple times like if I ever go cross countrying, the one person, the one living being that I would love to bring with me is Rocky. I'd love to take Rocky on a cross country trip. Go camping, bring him to Yellowstone, camp with him there. He'd have a fucking ball. Have the time of his life. It'd be like going into another solar system for us or a whole new fucking planet. Just blow his fucking doggy mind. Just holy fuck. You're telling me that this little area, this neighborhood I've been living in isn't the only thing? There's thousands of them, millions of them. And so I've had dreams of being like just camping out in a tent and like Rocky's really fucking chill about being in a tent. I've gone camping with him a few times in the woods. Not too far and not in an area where coyotes are or wolves. Nothing like that, but I've pitched a tent here and there and I've taken him going out camping and he's slept right beside me. He knows don't leave the tent and he'll sit in the tent. Like I'll make a campfire, he'll sit right there. He knows not to go near a campfire. And I've just had he's been attacked while on a fucking hike by a bobcat or a fucking mountain lion or a fucking cougar, or fox, just any carnivorous fucking wildlife in the area. And you don't know how many times I have woken up from this dream bawling my eyes out in a fucking ugly cry mode. Just for a fucking dream. Like when I see a movie like I Am Legend, like like, and that's why dog lovers have it so bad because they in Robert Neville's position with Samantha. Sam's the dog. You completely fucking relate as a dog owner. Yeah, and I'm not saying like only dog lovers will get the full brunt of the feels. But I mean, you'd have to be one callous motherfucker if you're a dog owner and you do not cry at that scene or any dog death scene where they sacrifice themselves. I just don't know. I just wish it was all a dream. That I'm just fucking hallucinating this whole fucking thing. Like relationship issues, I'm fine with it. I'll be fucking paranoid and I'll be racked with fucking paranoia and anxiety and depression. I'll find a way to fucking dull those senses. I'll be fucking horribly depressed, but that depression will go away. Finding an apartment, stress, it'll keep me up at night. I'll only get a couple hours of sleep a week, but I can manage. And I've managed thus far. But man, to lose a a loved family member, uh, yes, yes. I resigned from the chess game, brain. I resigned from the. I have resigned. You have in fact put me in checkmate because now on top of not being able to sleep with the stress and dealing with those fucking emotions with the whole relationship issue. Yes, now I will be utterly heartbroken and destroyed. I will be absolutely devastated. What else can you throw at me, life? What else can you throw at me? Is LV gonna die too of a broken heart? Am I gonna have to witness my other dog, my only other dog, waste away because of being devastated? Do I have to witness doggy depression? Do I have to witness doggy suicide? Is that the next? Is that like your move to turn? You've already beaten me, but are you going to be like one of those chess players that goes, "If you had gotten out of checkmate in this turn, I would have gotten you. I would have checkmated you two turns from now." Is that you, life? Is that you, brain? Is that what's going to happen now? Like that's. I just want the truth. I just want the truth. That's it. I like. I really wish I could see into the future, just so I knew. Like I know like it's fucked up to know certain things. Like if you could see into the future, it'd be an awful fucking ability. I believe it's nihilism. Like it's been a while since I've actually fucking brought up any of these kind of concepts, but I think it's nihilism. Let me look it up. I'm on phone. Hey. Yeah. Like, if you had the ability to look into the future, I believe the 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have that person with that ability is gonna become a nihilistic asshole. Because think about it. You'd think, "Oh, yeah, I get to see into the future. I get to see how successful I am, and I'll be able to see what kind of wonders and amazing things will happen. And I'll be able to see, like, lottery numbers and winning baseball game tournaments and championship games. I'll be able to place bet. This is gonna be until you look and it's like, yeah, that girl that you've been talking to for like the last 3 4 months. Yeah, she's been secretly dating her ex. Your dog, yeah, he's a cute dog. You've had him for 4 years. Uh, in 4 years from now, he's gonna die gasping for breath. See that girl over there, and see how she's waving at you to talk to you. Yeah, she's gonna rip your fucking heart out 6 months into the relationship. You know those stocks you just invested in because you saw that massive amount of cash you'd make? Yeah, and a year or two after that, the stocks plummet. Or, oh yeah, invest in Bitcoin until it becomes fucking worthless. Yeah, you don't really become as successful as you think you might be. You kind of just, you know, trudge about life, going from place to place, job to job, house to house, and you get lung cancer. And it's like, but I don't smoke. Well, that's what you get. You get lung cancer. And yeah, health insurance doesn't change anytime soon in your lifetime. So yeah, the 70, 80 years that you looked into the future and you saw how everyone has universal health care and cancer medications are really cheap and whatnot and all of that. Yeah, you die about 30 years before that. I would not blame anybody who fucking became nihilistic. And it's like this is fucking worthless. This is used like this means nothing. Plus, there might be people countering, "Oh, well, why don't you just date somebody else instead of that Well, you have the ability, you have the immense ability to look into the future. You're like Doctor Strange. You're like Doctor Strange from Infinity War. He looked into the future, and out of the 14 something million outcomes of the fight, he only saw one where everything turned out all right. Could you imagine having like looking into the future, looking at every woman that you are interested in, going through it all, and every single outcome ends in you being hurt horribly? Yeah, 14 billion. He saw 14 billion outcomes, and only one of those 14 billion was a good ending. That means 13,999,999,999 outcomes ended in death and losing. How many outcomes with that ability to look into the future, how many outcomes are you going to have to sift through to find somebody? And how we'll say like if like it I like if well okay, how about this then? If in one version of it you can't turn it off. Like no matter how hard you try, like as soon as you talk to them or like give them a handshake, is we'll say bodily contact. As soon as you touch them or they touch you, like you immediately bam, it's like a flash before your eyes. Their whole life, with you in it flashes before your eyes. So like if you randomly talk to this chick that you've been wanting to date and you just talk to her and she just like gives you a hug like, oh, it's been so long, and then she hugs you, and then you just see like, oh yeah, you're in a 4.5 month long relationship, and she just tells you you're a piece of shit. She doesn't want anything to do with you, and the reason why she did that was because her ex dumped his girlfriend who he dumped her for, and he tells her that it was such a horrible choice and that he should have never left her because she's the best thing in his life, and she runs right back to him. All that from a hug, and you see all the good times, all the bad, bam, right there. You just saw 4.5 months of your life in the future gone. Like how many? Like I refuse to have a human being, any human being, tell me, oh well, I'd do it. I'd go through 14 billion outcomes. I'd try. I'd do it. I wouldn't become nihilistic. It's like fuck you, you would. Fuck you. Like how many people on average do people date? How many? How many people? Because the vast majority of people I know and I've grown up with have dated on average 10 people. 10 to 15. That's the average number of people I've seen my friends date. Around 10 to 15 women or men. I'm not counting hookups. I'm not counting flings. I'm talking actual relationships that you can actually say, yep, that's a relationship between 10 and 15. And it's like, so in a lifetime, in a single lifetime, matter of fact, hang on. We'll bring science into this. Average amount of lifetimes, relationships in a lifetime. Christ. The biggest difference between men and women lies in the number of sexual partners, with men having 10 in their lifetime compared to an average of 7 for women. The study also revealed that men will have 6 relationships, 2 of which will last more than a year, while women have 5. So you got that. So we'll say seven relationships. 7 relationships on average in a lifetime. And there's going to be people out there telling me that they're going to look through 14 billion outcomes. We'll lower it because there's not even 14 billion people on the planet. We'll say 14 million. There is no fucking conceivable way that you are going to be able to go through 14 million people and not get a nihilistic outlook on life. And that's just for relationships. That's not counting friendships where like you hug or high five or shake one of your soon to be friends, and it's like, yeah, they're going to be a friend with you for a decade, and then they're going to then they're going to backstab you. They're going to shit smear you because you told their girlfriend that they were talking to somebody else, or oh hey, like they just stopped liking you just because, and they just kind of become an asshole. Or, oh yeah, like your friend, yep, look at that 6.5 year friendship. Yep, they commit suicide. Just depression just gets to them, and they just don't want to tell anybody. They're just one of those people that doesn't outwardly tell or leave a note or anything. Yep, just kills himself. Won't tell anybody what caused it. Like, we're not even counting that. We're not even counting family. Like, yep, that's your baby brother, and you're holding him. And it's like, yep, he gets into a horrible car crash because he got drunk at 16. Just got accepted to a college. When he turns 18, he'd be fucking set. And it's like you're going to be able to withstand that nihilistic outlook on life where nothing means anything anymore, like relationships and friendships and family don't mean you're going to have, you will forever know when this person dies, when that person fucks you over, when this happens and that happens. And the fucked up thing about it, what makes it even more of a fucking horror show is the family aspect. Because friends and loved ones, they come and go throughout life. You'll lose friends to either just personality fucking differences, to friend differences, just to differences. Maybe they don't like you after high school because they never grew up mentally and they're still living in that high school mentality while you're working and you're trying to get your life on track and make something of it. And they don't. They're still living in their parents' basement. They're still just smoking pot, eating Doritos, and playing video games. And yeah, I'll go to college eventually. And yeah, I'll get a job eventually. But then you're like working a 9 to 5 job while going to college, and you're trying to fucking make something of yourself, and that causes a schism. Happens. It happens all the time. Friends come in and out of your life. That's a common fact of life. Same thing with relationships, but the horrific fucking aspect of it, family. You can't escape family. You can move away from family, but if unless it's a situation where like the state has to step in and take you away from your family, you can't get away from your family. They're always going to be your family. You will always have a father, a mother, siblings if you have any, cousins, aunts or uncles, grandparents, great grandparents, great aunts, great uncles, the whole shebang. You're going to have that as a constant unless they die before you grow up to actually interact with them. They're going to be there. So you're going to have to deal with knowing like, yep, like if I had it, it'd be like, yep, I love my grandfather to death. He's going to horribly die in a car crash. And we could go into the whole fucking butterfly effect. Like, well, maybe you can alter it. Well, if you can alter it, well, it's still gonna. You're still going to have a shit fucking end for for my grandfather. Oh, he doesn't die in front of my high school now because I fucking altered the course of that and I skipped it before it happened. And then the next time I hug him, what happens? It's like, oh, yep, he's gonna be driving to get coffee creamer because it's on sale at the local grocery store. Yeah, he's gonna get struck getting into his car or crossing through the parking lot, or he's just gonna have a massive heart attack while you're at school, and he'll die right on the floor alone. How utterly fucking destructive that is. How utterly defeated you're gonna feel like 9 out of 10 people will fucking not be able to deal with it. The 1 out of 10 is probably going to be a sociopath. That's about it. That's the only people I can fucking think would be able to deal with it. If that's a big maybe. Like, I just don't know. I don't know how anybody could sit there and look at me and go, "Yep, that's not gonna do anything." I won't fall. It's like, "No, you will. You will." Fuck. Sucks. Just sucks. I don't even know how I got off onto this tangent. Just probably my nihilistic ass getting to the better of me. Ugh. I'm gonna go get some more shit to drink because I've already gone through a bottle. Also, I'm guessing our special guest in the chat isn't here. Yep, sorry, loud glass. Probably because he can't connect because of the connection where he is. He said he's got a shit connection, so he'll probably be listening to this later on. So I'm just gonna leave my mic open while I go get something. I'll be right back. They fucking hate little fucking plastic seals on the fucking bottle. Why, Jim Beam and Jack Daniels? Why do you have to have a plastic fucking seal? Be like be like Jane B. My fucking god. Give me a second. Unfucking real. Unfucking real. Here we go. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy, indeed, Sten. Uh, shit's about to get lit. Also, I'm drinking pints because I'm stupid like that. I'm not buying fucking a whole handle. I'm buying pints equivalent and more. That way I can just fucking I don't have to let it sit there and get a little piss fucking warm. I can just keep them all in the fucking keep them all in the fucking freezer and just pull them out one by one. Uh, Sorry, I can't see the chat right now because Messenger doesn't like typing. So I've got to wait for the fucking thing to load up the text. That's some serious grade A lag right there. Okay. Welcome back, Sten, by the way. I was typing. Also, so and so has decided to message me finally after telling me earlier that hang on. I'll just read the text cuz I'm just drunk and I don't give a fuck anymore. So I texted them uh so I texted them around 9 9:30 in the morning this morning cuz I woke up and I was like hopefully we can talk today since we haven't really in a few days, and that was cut off by me going to bed, which was last Thursday. Then around 11:30, I got the call from my father telling me what was going on with Rocky. So as I'm going to the shop, and while I'm at the shop, I am texted while I'm cradling my dog. Hey, I feel a lot better today. If you don't want to talk to me, I get it. But if you don't, but if you want to talk to me, I can call you around 1:45. And that was at 12:54. And so I'm like, so now I have to cradle my dog in my hands, cry ugly crying, because it's just how I am. I respond to people who message me. I'm like, I do want to talk to you. Just don't want to bother you if you're busy or not interested in it. Can we talk later? I can't deal with what today is throwing at me. And that's when I left the shop at 2:31. And then like around 4 o'clock, I tried calling and I tried to call, but mid ring it went to voicemail. Like it rang 3, 4 times, and then on the fourth or fifth ring, halfway through it, it went click, and then that's when the voicemail came. And so now I get a message at fucking at 9:43. I got texted, "Hey, are you still awake?" And so I responded like 7 minutes later because I'm doing a stream. I'm like, I am. And then at 10:14, I haven't gotten a response yet. So I put an ellipses question mark. So I shot her a message on Facebook because, she hasn't responded and it's 10:42 at this point, like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, I'll be awake all night because I'm getting drunk. Cope with the fucking pain of my dog. And she goes, I'm sorry. I'm just having a really bad social anxiety. So I seriously haven't been able to talk to anyone. I'm like, I've been crying my eyes out all day. I understand. Why have you been crying? And so I just told her what's going on. She's like, well, hopefully he's going to be okay. I'm sorry that it is so awful. Are you there with your father now? It's like, no, no, I'm not. I told you that. And I doubt he's going to be okay. He collapsed. He was going like gasping, literally gasping for breath the entire time I was there. I literally stopped like holding him because I was worried I was making it worse. And he just sat in the corner of the room and he just looked down. And the only time he looked at me is if I said his name or I was talking to him. Like, I know my dog. He is not okay. I don't know if that's the thing that's fucking me up right now is I don't know what the vet's gonna say tomorrow, and it's probably not gonna be good fucking news. And now she's apologizing. Like seriously, you haven't talked to me in 2 days. Oh, if you want to, I'll call you at 1:45, and you don't even do that. And oh well, it's been so, like seriously, like this is why I cannot like vent Sten because bad things happen when I vent directly to the issue. It's why I am not a very confrontational person anymore. Like seriously, I make plans with her to spend the weekend. Then she texts me, I'm going to the hospital. Don't text me at all the entire time you're there, but you'll post memes on Facebook the whole evening while you're in the hospital for a cyst. And then hardly talk to me at all. Hardly talk to me the whole fucking week. Don't say hello. Don't tell me how you're doing. Don't tell me anything. But my ass would be saying I'm going to the hospital, and if you're like, "What's wrong?" Like if I said it in the Skype chat, I fucking explain myself when shit goes wrong. Fucking this past Thursday, the stress, like the lack of sleep, the stress on my body, and just I don't know what made me black out. Cracked my fucking head against the desk. Just blacked out, stone cold, smashed my just knocked my head on this fucking desk hard enough to knock over the lamp, the desk, not the desk, the laptop, and everything on my desk. Everything that's standing upright. Bottle of lighter fluid, that was knocked off. My flash, my military flashlight, knocked over. Glasses, they fell off. Fucking cigarette case fell over. Change, because I got stacks of nickels, and dimes, and quarters on my desk, all over the fucking place. Cracked my fucking head on the desk. Explained that to Sten and everybody in the Skype group. Like, my God, like, I just fucking blacked out. And if they're like, "Are you all right?" They asked if I was all right because they're human fucking beings. I was like, I think so. Like, my fucking head's pounding, but I'm not seeing stars. There's no blood. I'm not bleeding from anywhere. Like, I got a little bump on my fucking head, but I'm conscious. I don't think I'm concussed. I have had concussions before. But if I was like, I have to go to the hospital now, like, I broke my fucking to the desk, and I was like, and I texted her, I'm going to the hospital right now, like, and she's like, well, what happened? What's wrong? Are you okay? I'm not just gonna be fucking. I'm not gonna ghost her the whole fucking night. I'm gonna tell her like, I'm going to the hospital right now. I just broke my fucking nose. I blacked out and I hit my head on the desk. I'll tell you more. And I text her when I get out because that's just what you do for a human fucking being. You know, you don't just say that one thing, cause them to be fucking worried, and then that's it. And to add insult to injury, she goes, "Oh, I could just give you a big hug." It's like, really, really, you haven't talked to me in a week. You haven't talked to me in a fucking week. And I'm sure there's going to be people going, Darth, she hasn't talked to you in a week. Why? Because since hooking up with her on the first, for the past 3 weeks, it has gradually declined in conversations. Like it gradually. Like, I'm sure, and everybody has been in this situation before. Sorry, I'm responding. Like, like with me and her, we have been talking nonstop since she asked her friend to put in a good word to me. We have been talking nonstop, texting all day. While I'm at work, I respond. Whenever she texts me, I stop that fucking mower. I check to see if it's a text from her, and if it's a text from her, I respond. If it's not a text from her, I dim the screen. I push the power button so the fucking screen goes black again. Put it right back on my belt clip, and then away I go. Just how I am. She did the exact same thing. She's at work. I respond to a text. She responds right back to me. After hooking up, nope. Gradually, the talking stopped. The calls, like the 2 to 3 hour long conversations on just calling each other stopped. Hanging out stopped. Last time we were met in person was when we fucked. That was it. Had plans to go see Jurassic World 2 with her. She blew those plans off because not 2 days later, like 2 days after she said that, and 2 days before the planned time to go see the movie, she went to go see it with her father. And then she tells me, "Yeah, I just went to see," because I was like, "Where have you been? You haven't talked to me all day." "Yeah, I was busy. I was hanging out with my dad. We went to see Jurassic World 2. It's not that good." And like the assholish realist inside me just was seething, foaming at the mouth to be like, "Why the fuck did you ask me to go see it if you were going to go see it with your father?" Because apparently he had asked her to go see it. So it's like, the fuck was the point of asking me? Like, the fuck was the point of asking me to go see it if you already had plans to go see it with somebody else? The fuck was the point? And then the day comes where we're supposed to hang out to go see the movie, and she never says anything to me. Not a, "Oh, hey, I totally forgot that we were supposed to see Jurassic World 2. Huh, well, do you wanna just go see another movie?" Or, "Oh, do you wanna just hang out?" No, nothing. Nothing that whole fucking day. And then we were supposed to hang out on the 4th of July. She wanted, like, couple days after we fucked, she was like, I wanna bring you over to my family cookout. I want you to spend the 4th of July with me and my family. Get to know them." Okay. She's like, "I'll text you when I'm coming." Never came. Never came on the 4th of July. Never got a all I got was a text from her telling me that she just got back from the parade. And then she called me and she talked to me for probably 25 minutes. And that was it. And I even asked her, like, "Are you like, if you're not coming, you can just tell me, like, you're not coming. Like, that's totally fine with me." "Oh, well, like, right now it's just kind of busy and some of the cars are blocking my dad's car, so I'll just have to wait." I'm like, "You," and then again, the assholish realist inside me is like, you could just ask them, "Can you move the cars so I can get out? Because I got to pick up my friend who I told, like, I want to introduce you to this guy I've been talking to. I am absolutely certain your family will be more than accommodating because you have told me that they are some of the nicest people I'll ever meet." No, nothing. Then the thing happened, and then we were supposed to hang out for a weekend, and then that got blown off. And then this past weekend, this past Saturday, and this past Sunday, I was supposed to spend the weekend with her, cook dinner for her. I had already planned it, bought all the groceries I needed, even though she kept telling me not to because she had groceries at the house. But I don't want to waste her food. I don't want to take food out of her fridge that maybe somebody like her mother or brother or sister wanted to cook up something with. Maybe they have just a half gallon of milk left. So I bought a gallon of milk because I was planning on making a shepherd's pie and I was planning on making some meat sauce and pasta and a homemade garlic bread because she loves my garlic bread. And I made her a gingerbread, baked it up an hour before I was supposed to come over there because she was leaving work at 9 and she was going to fucking tell me, "Hey, ding, ding, time to come over." I was all set, all ready, groceries all packed, backpack all set up with all the clothes I was going to need, toothbrush, body wash, fucking deodorant, everything, whole shebang, everything I was going to need. Everything I was going to need. The drawings I've spent fucking like a couple weeks drawing, something I swore I would never do. I've been doing again because that's just how she makes me feel. She makes me want to draw. So I'd drawn like 20 fucking pictures for her, and I had them in a nice manila envelope ready for her. And then I get a text, "I'm going to the hospital," and then nothing, silence, silence the whole day, up all fucking night worrying, up all night the last Sunday worrying, and then I get a text a couple days later, "Yeah, I have a malformed cyst on my ovary," and then that's it, silence. And then this past Thursday, we're on the phone for like an hour just shooting the shit, and her sister's there too. So I'm having a conversation with her and her sister, playing a trivia crack on Facebook because she wanted to finally play trivia crack with me. Give me a second. Yeah, pretty much, Stan. Quarter of pint left, and then it's back to get another one. And I think the worst, like this. Now, this is what causes me to feel so shitty about that whole situation because I might as well vent about it. The thing that, like, there's gonna be people being like, "Oh, you shouldn't fucking, you be acting like this. Like, you shouldn't be fucking freaking out over a chick like this." It's not just that she's a chick and that I'm interested and I have feelings for her. The other side of it is the consistency, the consistency of talking every day, getting a texting her in the morning, "Good morning, beautiful. I hope you slept well. I hope you and the you and the baby slept well, and I hope you have a good day." That's what I send her when I first start. Like, it's 7 o'clock every morning. As soon as I start work, I send her that, and not 10, 15 minutes later, I get, "Good morning, handsome. Me and the baby slept well. Thank you. I hope you slept well, and I hope you have a really good day at work. Call me when you get out of work." And there's usually a a kissy face emoji, or a heart, and that just brightens my day up every day. Every Having that every day, like, and I'll even respond whenever you say that. I know it's going to be a good day, no matter what shit Donald throws at me. I know at the end of the day, when I get home, take a shower, get something in, like, eat something, and just sit at my desk and relax, and I call her, she's going to pick up and we're going to talk. That familiarity, that consistency is gone. I don't get a text like that in the morning. I'm still text like, if you look at my fucking text history with her, like, you'll see like 2 weeks of me saying the same fucking thing time. "Good morning, beautiful. I hope you and the baby slept well, and I hope you have a really good day." And if it's an especially hot day, I tell her that I hope her and the baby can stay cool, and that they can go to the pond and swim at the beach and relax because it's a really hot day. Like, 2 weeks, almost a full 2 weeks of just no responses. And so that consistency is out the window. And so that's making me feel shitty. And then on top of that, she's saying, like, "I'm going to the hospital," and then not saying anything. Or she'll be online and she'll tell me, "Hey, call me when you get out of work," or "Call me at this time," or "I'll call you at this time." And she'll be active on Facebook, and she has me on both Facebooks. And she's not active on my real Facebook, but on my internet Facebook, she's active. Like, I'll send her a message being like, "I tried calling you on my real Facebook, and the messages won't send, but when I send her the same thing on my other account, they go right through." And then she'll read those on my secondary account, and then she goes inactive. And it's right after she reads the message. like today, like the whole I'm having horrible social anxiety. Then why did you tell me like, "Hey, if you want to talk to me, I'll call you at 1:45." Like I'll call you in 45 minutes. And when I text you, I do want to talk to you. Like, "Hey, I just can't deal with today." Like 2 hours after the fact. And then when I try calling her, like fucking around 5 o'clock at fucking night, or 4 o'clock at night, or in the afternoon, like I try calling her at 4, and it rings 4 or 5 fucking like 3 or 4 times, and then on the next ring, halfway through, I hear a audible click, and then it goes straight to voicemail. Like my paranoia is gonna go, well, what the fuck? Like, what's causing you to fucking like? Why are you acting like this? Like, why are you acting like this? And and again, on top of all of this, I have my father and aunt and everybody everybody at the shop supportive of it. Everybody's happy for me. And the fucking it's like a little fucking sewing needle prick every time. Oh, so how's Danny? "Eh." Oh, wow, just another fucking needle prick in the chest. I haven't heard from her in a few days. "Eh." Well, what's wrong? Great, another fucking in the fucking chest. I don't know. She just hasn't talked to me. She said she'd call me like 2 nights ago, and she never did. Or have you tried messaging her? And they're all giving me advice, being like, "Oh, well, maybe you should message her." It's like I've already messaged her. I've already asked her if everything's all right. Has she been online? Yeah, she's on Facebook. 1,200 friends now. Really? Yeah. Like I go onto her Facebook and I'll be like, "Oh, look, she had 1,200. Like she had 1150 last night when she was online, and then when she saw my message and went offline, she now has like 1155 or 1156. And then the next night, it goes from 1156 to 1201 for friends. And I sent her a message, and she just went offline. So she's adding people on Facebook. She's posting stuff on Facebook. She's probably talking to other people on Facebook. She's ghosting me. The Monday after she said she was going to the hospital, everybody, like Donald, even asked me. He's like, "What's wrong, boy?" I'm like, "Danny went to the hospital Saturday." "What did you do to her?" And he starts laughing because I told him Saturday before I left. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going." He's like, "What's your plans for the weekend?" I'm like, "I'm going to hang out with. I'm spending the weekend with Danny." And he just smiled because he knew what that meant. He's like, "Oh, well, take it easy, boy. You have a nice weekend." And then Monday comes rolling around, and he asked me that, and I tell him that. He's like, "Well, what happened?" I'm like, "I don't know. She hasn't said a fucking thing to me since she sent me one text, boss, at like 9 o'clock when she got out of work. Baked her a gingerbread. It's still wrapped in fucking tinfoil in the pan, still wrapped up, all ready for her. And bought a bunch of groceries so I could cook dinner for her. She texted me at 9 o'clock, like right as I was getting like just getting ready for her text to tell me, "Hey, come on over. I'm out of work." And then she just told me I'm going to the hospital, and that was the last word I heard from her. Like I don't want to deal with that. I don't like dealing with people people who care about me and like to see me happy messaging, like asking me, "Hey, how's everything?" because they think everything's going swimmingly like it was. Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. Just more fucking shit to add on to this fucking heaping pile of dog shit. Just lovely. Give me a second, Stan. I have to fucking come on Facebook. Switch accounts. There we go. Fuck. There we go. Now you know, Stan. I posted in Skype. Yeah. Okay, you saw it. Yeah. Ay vey. Just my fucking luck. All right. I need more booze. And I need to call. So I'm gonna fucking try calling and finish my booze and deal with my night drunk and wide awake. So uh I'd say thank you everybody for coming, but it's a pretty fucking negative feels trip full of depression and and shit that'll make people depressed. So the only way I can thank people is for fucking putting up with my ass. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful evening, and I hope everything goes well for you guys later.